when night falls and the sky fills with stars. We often look up and wonder, is someone out there looking back at us? Those shimmering lights, distant and silent, might not just be stars. They could be suns in the eyes of another civilization, far across the cosmos, quietly watching. Back in 1848, theologian and scientist Thomas Dick boldly proposed that the universe could be home to 22 trillion living beings. His estimate, based on the population density of England at the time, extrapolated across the vastness of the cosmos. They sound far-fetched today, but it raised a question that still echoes. If life is a natural outcome of the universe, why would we be the only ones? Thanks to powerful telescopes like James Webb and Kepler, astronomers have discovered thousands of exoplanets, worlds orbiting distant stars. Many lie in the so-called habitable zone, where conditions might be just right for life. Dr. Lisa Kaltenegger of Cornell University believes that if Earth-like conditions exist elsewhere, then so might life, even if it's nothing like ours. And beyond science lies something more speculative, and perhaps even more profound. Some futurists and theoretical physicists imagine civilizations that have transcended matter itself. These beings might not need bodies, air, or machines. Instead, they could map the living architecture of the universe using sacred mathematical patterns, the golden ratio, cosmic spirals, the primal geometry of existence. The search for extraterrestrial life is not just a scientific pursuit. It's a quiet, persistent whisper from the human soul, asking the oldest question we know: are we truly alone? Long before rockets pierced the sky or satellites circled Earth, our ancestors looked up with a sacred sense of awe, as if the heavens weren't just filled with stars, but served as the ceiling of a vast, invisible spirit world. It was Galileo Galilei, with one of the first telescopes, who cracked open that celestial window. When he spotted dark patches on the moon's surface, he believed they were oceans, possibly teeming with life. It may have been a misinterpretation, but it marked a profound turning point. Science was stepping out of myth and into possibility. Then came Immanuel Kant, the great philosopher, who imagined a cosmos organized by levels of intelligence. In one of his more speculative hypotheses, he proposed that the farther a planet was from the sun, the more intelligent its inhabitants would be. In his view, the sun's intense light dulled thought while distant. Dimmer worlds might allow consciousness to flourish into something nearly divine. Today we know those early ideas were scientifically inaccurate. But the deeper question they sparked still burns. Is someone out there thinking about us? These ancient visions didn't just search for life, they searched for meaning. And from those first primitive lenses to the observatories of today, our journey has never been just about discovery, it's been about identity. We've walked on the moon, roved the red sands of Mars, sent probes to frozen moons and ancient asteroids. And yet, despite decades of exploration, we have not found a single living being in our solar system. At least, that's what the data tells us. But have we really seen everything there is to see? Or did something once exist only to vanish long before we arrived? One of the more controversial, yet strangely compelling, hypotheses suggests that the moon may have once hosted an ancient civilization. Those dark plains that Galileo mistook for lunar seas? Perhaps they are not oceans at all, but graveyards of a golden era lost to time. Some theorists believe this civilization could have collapsed in a catastrophic war or as the result of uncontrolled energy experiment. It's not entirely baseless. Plasma physicist Dr. John Brandenburg once cited evidence of unusual radioactive elements on Mars, pointing to the possibility of an ancient nuclear detonation of non-terrestrial origin. And then there's Jupiter, the gas giant with a magnetic field nearly 20,000 times stronger than Earth's. Astrophysicists like Dr. Kevin Baines at NASA have speculated that such an immense field could serve as a natural prison for high-energy life forms. Beings composed not of cells and carbon, but of plasma or electromagnetic force. We haven't found life in the solar system, but maybe we're not looking the right way. Maybe the truth isn't on the surface. It's buried deep, shielded from our instruments, hidden within the very structure of space itself. And while data may not yet reveal it, our imagination keeps knocking, asking to be let in. Thanks to advanced telescopes like Kepler, TESS, and especially the James Webb Space Telescope, we are now entering a golden age of astronomy. For the first time in human history, we're not just speculating about planets beyond our solar system, we're actually seeing them. Thousands of worlds have been confirmed, many similar in size to Earth. and a surprising number of them orbit within what scientists call the habitable zone, not too hot, not too cold, and potentially capable of supporting liquid water. Among the most intriguing candidates is TOI 715b. A rocky exoplanet located about 137 light-years from Earth. With a radius about 1.5 times larger than our own planet. And orbiting a cool red dwarf star, TOI 75b lies in an ideal range for habitability. It's currently one of the top targets in our search for signs of life. But here's the catch. The light we're seeing from TOI 715b today actually left the planet 137 years ago. In our search for life beyond Earth, humanity keeps returning to the same familiar checklist. Liquid water, biosignature gases, the Goldilocks zone, that sweet spot around a star, where temperatures are just right for life as we know it. We scan for traces of methane, oxygen, or signs of ancient microbes. As though the universe were obligated to follow the same biological script written here on Earth. But what if they, extraterrestrial beings, don't breathe air, don't need water, and don't even exist within the three-dimensional space we inhabit? What if life could exist without a body, without cells, without breath, yet still thrive? Scientists are starting to open up to these possibilities. As Dr. Sarah Seeger of MIT puts it, we may be missing the signals because we're only searching within our narrow band of understanding. One of the most intriguing clues in recent years has come from K2-18b, a planet roughly 120 light-years away. Observations by the James Webb Space Telescope detected water vapor in its atmosphere, alongside dimethyl sulfide, DMS, a compound that on Earth is produced only by marine organisms. This may be a faint greeting from a distant ocean, a place where mythic-like beings, perhaps the leviathans of ancient stories, silently drift beneath thick clouds and restless waves. Entire planets covered in water could host forms of life we've never imagined, creatures born of crushing pressure, eternal darkness, and heat from the planet's core, not sunlight. Some speculative biologists have called them biological leviathans, enormous lords of the deep, ancient in intellect and alien in every sense. And so our search for life is evolving into a deeper challenge, a race against the limits of our own imagination. We've launched spacecraft to the edge of our solar system, scanned thousands of distant planets with colossal telescopes, and decoded the faint glow of stars hundreds of light years away. Yet everything we know about the universe, about life, still amounts to little more than a speck of dust in an infinite desert. But humanity doesn't stop at the boundaries of the known. The search for extraterrestrial life is not just a scientific endeavor, it's a quiet yearning from the deepest part of who we are. In a cold and silent cosmos, where distances are measured in light years and silence can last millennia, we send out a call, not only to ask, is anyone out there, but to say, we are here, please hear us, to know, in some fundamental way, that we are not alone. Scientists like Carl Sagan once said, the universe would be a pretty big waste of space if it's just us. Will humanity be ready to face a consciousness far beyond ours? A truth that could shatter our religions, our beliefs, even our concept of what it means to be human? Maybe this journey isn't just about finding someone else. Maybe it's about rediscovering ourselves, reflected in the eyes of something completely unfamiliar. That horizon is expanding. And the real question is no longer, is there life out there? It's this, when that life answers, will we be ready to listen? A civilization may have emerged millions of years before us, and vanished, leaving behind nothing but faint, fading signals in space. Or aliens might only appear millions of years after we are gone. It's not just spatial distance, hundreds of thousands of light years, but also temporal distance. That makes contact between civilizations nearly impossible. The concept of civilization cannot be based solely on shape, language, or technology. It needs a shared frame of reference beyond all biological or environmental differences. And the one factor every civilization in the universe must face is energy. Currently, our sample size for civilizations is just one. So, any assumption we make may be biased. Still, it's better than having nothing at all. Looking back at ourselves, we started with bare hands and muscle, then came fire, the first invention that changed humanity's fate. Since then, history has been a continuous chain of progress in energy harnessing, steam engines, fossil fuels, electricity, nuclear power. Each advancement was more than just an invention. It was a leap in thinking, in how we control the world around us. And if we want to imagine a higher, more advanced civilization, we should look at the energy they could harness. Currently, the energy we harness from Earth accounts for only about 0.72 on the scale of a Type 1 civilization. This means we only use energy sources from our planet, such as fossil fuels, renewable energy like solar and wind, and nuclear power. A Type 1 civilization is not just a technological concept. It's the ability to control and harness all available energy from its home planet. This includes using solar and wind energy on a global scale, tapping into oceanic, geothermal, and other forms of energy we're only beginning to understand. Upon reaching Type 1, we would no longer fear natural disasters. We could control and intervene in environmental factors like climate, earthquakes, tsunamis, droughts, or even storms. We would build technologies to control Earth's temperature, reduce pollution, and maintain a stable environment for life. A future where humanity is no longer a tiny race in a vast universe. Achieving Type 1 status would signify humanity's transition into a civilization capable of sustaining life and harnessing the forces of nature. A Type 2 civilization is the conqueror of an entire star system. An alien civilization could harness all the energy emitted by its star, not just the light and heat reaching the surface of a planet, but every photon, every infrared wave, every gamma ray escaping from the core of a sun. Imagine a structure that completely surrounds a star, a Dyson sphere, made up of millions or even billions of satellites or energy-collecting mirrors orbiting around it. If a Dyson sphere is too idealistic, a more practical version would be a Dyson swarm, a network of spacecraft and devices orbiting a star, collecting energy like bees gathering nectar from a forest of plasma flowers. They could modify the climate of other planets, warm Mars, create atmospheres on icy moons, or even transform a dead world into a new home. This is the level of terraforming, altering a planet to make it capable of sustaining life. At this level, they are no longer constrained by energy limits. Ideas that once sounded like science fiction, moving a planet out of orbit, building floating cities, or turning stars into weapons, are now possible.